Good afternoon, classmates. We are Group 1, and our topic for today is about Thomas Hobbes. He was born in London on April 5, 1588 and died on 1679. His hometown is in Malmesbury, England. He was an English philosopher considered one of the founders of modern political philosophy. Hobbes lived during the English Civil War. This experience influenced his views on human nature and the necessity of a strong government. His most famous work, The Leviathan, published on 1651, established the foundation of Western political thought from the perspective of social contract, where Hobbes discusses the nature of man, the state of nature, the social contract, the laws of nature, political power, liberty and law, and the sovereign power. What did Thomas Hobbes think about the people? Hobbes thought that people are naturally selfish. He believed that everyone wants what's best for themselves, and they are willing to fight to get it. Imagine a time before governments, and he thought it would be a terrible place. He called it the state of nature. What is the state of nature? Imagine a world with no rules and no one in charge. Hobbes thought it would be a scary place where everyone would be fighting each other all the time. He said life would be nasty, brutish, and short. Hobbes said we need a strong leader to keep everyone safe. He called this leader the Leviathan. He thought that people should agree to give up some of their freedom to this leader in exchange for protection. This agreement is called a social contract.
Next, let's go to Thomas Hobbes' thoughts about political theory. So, he wrote the Leviathan, which is a powerful sovereignty entity representing the ideal government that can protect individuals from the inherent dangers of the state of nature. We also include the creation and preservation of an authoritative government wherein Hobbes discusses the nature of man, the state of nature, the social contract, the laws of nature, political power, liberty and law, and the sovereign power. Hobbes also neglected the concept of sovereignty, which he rejects the Cartesian dualism and believes in the mortality of soul. He believed that the mind is not a separate substance but rather a series of phantasms or images that arise from the motion of the body. He also says that men in a state of nature, that is a state without civil government, are in a war of all against all, in which life is hardly worth living. He also believed that humans were basically selfish creatures who would do anything to better their position. He believed that they are inherently selfish and motivated by desire for power and self-preservation. He also distrusts democracy, which is, for him, it is unstable and ultimately dangerous form of government. The laws instead of democracy. Hobbes advocated for a strong, absolute sovereign, a monarch, to maintain order and prevent descent into chaos. Hobbes believed that a diverse group of representatives presenting the problems of the common person would prevent a king from being cruel and unfair. Next, the nature of the man. He believed that the state power was a mortal god to which we owe under the immortal God are peace and defense. He also said that to love and to hate those things for which they are aversion. Next, there is a general inclination of all mankind, a perpetual and restless desire of power after power. Next, let's go to the state of nature, where all men are created equal. Nature made men equal in the faculties of body and mind, as there be a stronger in body and quicker in mind. We also believe that two men desire the same thing, nevertheless, they cannot both enjoy and they become enemies. Thomas Hobbes also wrote three principles of quarrel: the competition, diffidence, glory or reputation. Under the competition, this can lead to conflict as individuals strive to secure their own advantage. Next, the diffidence, which it motivates individuals to seek security and protection, often through aggression or action. And lastly, the glory or reputation, where glory or the desire for reputation and recognition can also lead to quarrels.
Laws of nature according to Hobbes. We are obligated to transfer our natural liberties to our rights. Men will follow their covenant made. The laws of nature are immutable and eternal. For injustice, ingratitude, arrogance, pride, and acceptation of persons can never be made lawful. For it can never be that war shall preserve life and peace destroy it. The first law of nature tells us to seek peace. The second law of nature tells us to lay down our rights in order to seek peace, provided that this can be done safely. The third law of nature tells us to keep our covenants, where covenants are the most important vehicles through which rights are laid down. According to Hobbes, the laws of nature are precepts discovered by reason that dictate individuals to seek peace and avoid actions destructive of their lives, essentially advocating for self-preservation and the avoidance of actions that would endanger their survival. Political power. Greatness of human power is that which compounded by the powers of many men, emphasizes the necessity of a strong centralized authority to maintain order and security, holds the power to enforce laws and protect the Commonwealth from internal and external threats. He also supports monarchical sovereignty. Okay, Thomas Hobbes believed in absolute monarchy, arguing that a strong centralized sovereign power, like a king, was necessary to maintain order and prevent society from descending into a state of nature, characterized by chaos and violence. The state of nature, according to Hobbes, famously described as a condition where there is no government or common authority, and life is solitary, poor, nasty, brutish, and short. In this state, individuals are driven by self-interest and fear, leading to constant conflict and lack of security. For liberty and law, according to Hobbes, he argues that in the nature state, individuals possesses absolute liberty. But this freedom leads to war of all against all, where life is solitary, poor, nasty, brutish, and short. States that subjects should remain faithful until the sovereign loses to protect his subjects. For Thomas Hobbes, liberty is the absence of external impediments, while law is the sovereign's command that defines what is permissible and what is forbidden, with the sovereign's power being absolute to maintain peace and security. Here's more detailed explanations of Hobbes' views on liberty and laws. Liberty. Hobbes defines liberty as the absence of external obstacles, meaning individuals are free when nothing prevents them from doing what they want. Purpose of sovereign power. Hobbes believed that the primary purpose of a sovereign power is to maintain peace and order within society. thereby ensuring the security of its citizens. Nature of sovereign power. Absolute. The sovereign's authority is not subject to any limitations or external control. Perpetual. The sovereign's power is continuous and does not end with the death of resignation of the ruler. Inalienable. The sovereign cannot be divested or other power by the people or any other authority. Undivided. Power must be concentrated in one entity, whether a monarch or an assembly, to prevent internal conflict and maintain unity. Unlimited. The sovereign's power is not subject to any laws or restrictions, and there is the law. Sources of sovereign power. Hobbes argued that the sovereign derives their authority from social contract, where individuals voluntarily surrender their rights and freedoms to the sovereign in exchange for protection and security. The role of sovereigns. Enforcing law. Enforces laws to regulate behavior and chaos. Maintain order, ensures peace and stability within the Commonwealth. The roles of sovereign. The sovereign is responsible for making and enforcing laws, maintaining order, and defending the states from external threats. The sovereign also has the authority to determine who owns what, who holds public offices, and the economy is regulated. Why absolute sovereignty is necessary? Hobbes believed that without an absolute sovereign, society would descend into chaos and a state of nature where life would be solitary, poor, nasty, brutish, and short. In essence, Hobbes' concept of sovereignty emphasizes the need for a strong centralized authority to maintain social and prevent societal collapse. Thank you.